Once upon a time, in a faraway city known as Talltale City. I know, I didn't come up with a name, so don't blame me. Anyways, on the tops of the enormous industrial buildings, a villain by the name of the Big Bad Wolf was running away from the old, very, very old, and wrinkly, and saggy, and crippled, and hard of hearing, and nearsighted, and very rich hero, the shoemaker. The shoemaker was a poor man in his youth, and he wasn't very good at his job. But eventually, he became very, very rich. You see, before he became rich, the man was terrible at making shoes. One day, he got frustrated and went to bed early, leaving the materials to create the shoes out on his desk. At night, little elves came out and crafted the most beautiful pair of shoes anyone had ever laid their eyes on. The next day, the shoemaker found them and sold them. He continued doing this until he was very, very rich. I know, classic origin story, huh? Using the labors of others to become rich? Anyways, he was as rich as Batman. And like Batman, he decided to become a superhero. The elves, learning of this, decided they wanted to be heroes too. So he dressed them up in silly, ridiculous costumes like Robin, and they became his loyal sidekicks for some reason. His wife, whom will never be spoken of in this show again, after this scene, of course, because she's older than dirt, and frankly, she's probably what killed the dinosaurs.
Hey, you can't go off script like that. Stick to the script, narrator.
But I'm the one telling the story. I have the power.
No, you don't. Either stick to the script or leave and we'll replace you.
Fine.
What? I didn't hear you. I feel we're being watched.
I know you may be wondering why I'm beginning to tell this story here, dear audience. Well, I'll tell you. This is the story of a kid. This is how she becomes a superhero. The greatest superhero, to be precise. This is her origin story.
Oh.
Not all superhero origin stories are bad. Anyways, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Hold on, everyone. Just hold your places. Narrator, we're not paying you for this in the first place. You auditioned for this role. You volunteered. We don't have the budget to pay for you.
Wait, you don't get paid if you volunteer?
No, that's the point of volunteering. You dedicate your time to help people perform and entertain curtain players' patrons.
Boring. Well, I'm out. Peace.
No, wait, hold on, please. You can't just leave. We need you. Well, I guess the show is canceled. Sorry. But hey, she was out of there in a flash. Get it? It's all about superheroes. Okay. Not a time for jokes? Sorry. Man, this is just a hot mess already. I am going to go give her a call or something. Yeah. Okay. Okay, she'll come back on one condition. Nobody interrupts her anymore. Got it? Good.
The brilliant, charming, stunningly beautiful narrator returns. Ha ha! I'm the star of the show again. Me! I control everything!
Just remember, with great power comes great quotability.
The big bad wolf, believing he had winded his foe, stopped and waited for a moment before beginning his evil villain monologue.
You cannot get away with this, Wolf. No matter what. The children must have free time. You can't just steal it from the First International Bank of Free Time. They need to have fun. You can't take that away from them. Didn't you ever have a childhood? Please, Wolf, you need to understand. We can't make these children grow up without a childhood.
Why should I care, shoemaker? Blah, 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 blah. I never had a childhood. Why should anyone else get one? Besides, it's so much nicer being an adult. You get to do whatever you want, whenever you want.
An intense battle ensues with Shoemaker throwing shoes at the wolf, and the wolf repeatedly saying,
Ow! Ow! Ow!
every
Ow!
time he's hit by a pair of shoes. The fight continues for what feels like ages, but ends up being more like a minute. Sometimes that be the way the life do.
Enough! For years we fought, shoemaker. But do you know why I'm so evil? Well, when I was younger, just a mere pup, my father would spend a lot of time at work. He was a demolitionist. He'd puff and blow houses down, honest work. But sometimes he'd have to fill out paperwork, too. Well, he also had to be a father to his little pups. He would often take his favorite son, my brother, to work with him while he left me at home to do paperwork and cook them dinner. Well, he taught my brother the art of huffing and puffing and blowing houses down, but he always forgot about me. I grew up staying indoors, filing paperwork, while my brothers learned what we wolves do best, huffing and puffing and blowing houses down. Oh, only he taught me too. Maybe I would have had a childhood. Besides, why should they have any fun when I never did? I'm doing them a favor. I should just leave.
The wolf, thinking he had bested his enemy with his very sad life story, began to walk toward a little cottage he had been scoping out for weeks. A cottage home to a little old granny and a girl in a red cape, who often left to get sweets for her granny from the nearby bakery. Little did he know that another hero had heard the commotion up on the rooftops.
Stop, villain!
The prince darts in front of the wolf, blocking his escape. His muscles were so muscular that his muscles had muscles. His smile shined like the sun, and his body odor smelled like a newly ripped fart.
Oh no, not the prince.
Yes, 'tis I, the most handsome man in the world, whose beauty has awakened maidens from their sleep, whose strong muscles have stopped witches and dragons, whose powerful aroma has stopped birds dead in their tracks.
Oh joy. Here we go. Hey, you guys know when I just did my super evil villain monologue back there? Well, cocky superheroes like to do that too. It's just like when
Name copyrighted.
up their villains and
Name copyrighted.
standing over them and they say something like, "It's over!
Name copyrighted.
I have bested you in combat and you're going to jail for a very long time." And then the villain always gets out of jail. Oh, for some reason.
Hey, you can't talk to the audience. Only the narrator can do that. Sorry about that. I know the show is getting a bit crazy right now. It's not supposed to be. I wrote the show and I'm directing, and it's just so much for a...
Allow this dashingly, one might say, charming man to save you the time, villain. Give up now and I can promise I won't make you look any uglier.
Ouch. That hurts, man. Way worse than a punch ever could.
Hey, wait, did he just cut me off? That was rude. Mister, I'm your director, and you know what? It's not worth it. Continue on with the show. Kids, you gotta learn to choose your battles.
Your answer, villain?
Well, you're pretty muscular.
Indeed I am. And handsome, well-mannered, considerate. I'm as strong as an ox and as fast as a gazelle.
Right. Smelly as one, too. Well, guess can't go up against that.
Good choice, villain. Shoemaker, you seem to be getting too old for this business. I always have to save you. One of these days you might get hurt. Or worse.
Many years later, the shoemaker sat down to talk with his grandchild, Sam. Sam's parents had mysteriously disappeared from her life, leaving no trace as to where they went. The only thing she knew about her mother was that she had often gone on trips for the government. The shoemaker would tell her nothing more of her parents. Sam, on the other hand, was a brilliant kid, but this brilliance often made her an easy target for bullies. Due to this, Sam spent most of her time on the playground alone, and she had little friends. But that's okay. For what she lacked in reality, she made up for in the realm of fantasy. Suddenly, the playground became a castle, the slide a fierce dragon's head, the floor burning and scalding lava, Mr. Fluffybottom, her stuffed bunny, a stunningly beautiful princess in need of saving. Now, the shoemaker and Sam find themselves in the living room of their house. They have sat down in the most comfortable chairs ever to talk. The shoemaker is about to spill his most engaging secret.
You know what I do in the evening, Sam?
No, Grandpa.
Sam, ever since you were young, I would leave the house with the elves and fight crime. I fought bad guys like the witch, the stepmother, the mouse king, and the queen of hearts. So many over the years. But I'm afraid I'm getting too old now. I can't do this for too much longer. I'm going to go join your grandmother and my wife with my parents up north on their farm.
Unfortunately, the shoemaker was paranoid and partly deaf.
But why, Papa?
What?
I said why.
Because it's time for you to discover who you truly are.
And who am I?
Oh, and he randomly falls asleep sometimes.
Papa.
I can't tell you that. That's something you must discover for yourself. How about some tunes? See what we could catch on the radio. Maybe some of that Ariane Grande. Is that what you kids are listening to nowadays?
This just in, the big bad wolf has escaped from prison. It turns out that he's been practicing for months, huffing and puffing and blowing his jail cell down. Prince, if you're listening to this, we need your help.
This sounds like a job for...
Papa, what were you going to say?
the shoemaker.
Papa, who's the shoemaker?
Prince, if you're listening, we need your help.
What do you say, Sam? One last adventure?
Can I go with you?
What?
Can I go with you?
Ah, it's too dangerous. I'll be back soon.
He's asleep again. Ugh, the radio announcer clearly said they needed the prince. I don't know why Papa is going out to fight him. What if something bad happens to him? I feel like I should go after him and help him. Papa!
The shoemaker awakes and stumbles to get on his costume. He stumbles and fumbles around the room, knocking over a lamp,
Oh, oh, oh.
until he finally gets his costume on. He leaps out the door with the force of a kid wanting to do their homework, which is about as fast as a wet blanket thrown from a door, which is about as fast as a snail on the back of a pigeon riding an elephant on the highway, which isn't very fast. Sam waits a few moments and follows him. Sam wanders the hallways of her school, alone, looking for her grandpa. She thinks to herself as she wanders around,
Gee, It sure is weird to be here at nighttime. I mean, I don't even want to be in school during the day, let alone at night. Oh, there's Mrs. Jenny's room. Oh, I didn't do my homework for tonight. Maybe I should turn around and no. I've got to help Papa. He could be in danger, and he's always been there for me at every moment I needed him. Like that one time Judy put gum in my hair, I came home crying. What did he do? He made me a new pair of shoes. And that other time that I forgot my project the next day and I asked him for help, what did he do? He made me a new pair of shoes. Oh, and that other time we were in a bank and a robber came in, what did he do? He ran away, and he protected me, making sure I was safe. And then he made shoes, and threw them at the robber, knocking him unconscious, and saving the day. I guess that's when I should have realized he was a superhero.
Sam walks into her classroom, muttering to herself, until...
Hey everyone, there's gonna be a teacher assembly directly following this announcement. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's gonna be a home run. You're gonna have so much fun. And janitor, if you show up singing Dancing Queen one more time.
It's quiet in here. A little too quiet.
All right. With all the teachers distracted in another room by that dancing janitor, we can have our super secret evil villain meeting in peace.
Hey, Sam! You're in my class, Mrs. Jenny!
Shh, not so loud, Red.
Sorry, so why are we here anyways? Why are these guys here? All I wanted to do was grab my math homework. Granny drove me all the way here, and I can't even pick up my stinking multiplications table. I already spend way too much time here. I don't want to spend more time in this place, especially at night with a bunch of...
Calm down, Red. That's the big bad wolf. He's a criminal and just escaped from prison. The radio said he huffed and puffed and blew his way out of jail.
And after, I must say, a brilliant and cunning ruse, I huffed and puffed and I blew my way out of jail.
I guess he had lead pipes.
I had lead pipes.
Wait, that looks like Captain Hook. And the witch. Oh no, this must be an evil gathering. They must be using these classrooms while the teachers are distracted taking classes to learn.
Listen. Here's my evil plan.
I'm here to stop you. No?
How great. You.
In an epic showdown we've all been waiting for, the shoemaker opens his bag and begins tossing shoes at the wolf. Classic. Wolf knocks down a table and uses it as a shield. He begins moving toward the shoemaker.
I think it'd be great if you stopped throwing shoes at me. Wooden shoe? Hey, that was my sole joke about shoes.
I've got to hand it to you. Those were pretty bad puns. Oh.
I don't know which one of those jokes was funnier.
These puns would be funnier if we actually had wooden shoes. Wouldn't you agree? Whew, I make myself laugh. Right, well, the prince bound in all handsome and daring. His odor fills the room with his, manly charm. Can I say that? I'm gonna say that. He hides behind cover with Sam and Red.
What's happening, children?
Wolf broke out of prison and has banded together a group of people to discuss his evil plan.
And Shoemaker's going to stop him.
Something smells fishy around here. And I don't mean weird. I mean, it smells like actual fish. Hook, was that you?
I may be a pirate, but I have the utmost respect for my odor.
Not me, my pretty. Oh.
That old coot? Why, he couldn't even survive the force generated from landing on a pair of air jorgans, creating a soft, cushiony experience for all who wear them. Or the vigorously helpful spring they create whenever you jump. Definitely not sponsored by Air Jorgens. I'm a superhero. I do this for free and for the betterment of all people. I don't accept checks. Was that good? Do I get my check? Well, after the show? Okay, yeah.
You're so cool, Prince. I want to be just like you when I grow up.
Well, you'll never be as good as me, but I guess you can try.
Are you even gonna do anything?
Of course I'll do something. I'm the incredibly handsome, charming, and absolutely stunning prince.
Hey, audience, in case you haven't figured it out, he's Prince Charming. That's his secret identity. Not like he can really keep it a secret.
Thank you. I am a prince who is charming. Now you kids, you better leave. This could get ugly.
Prince Charming stands up to confront the villains. The villains gasp, knowing they're doomed.
Weird.
The hero strides back and forth, smiling at the villains before finally saying,
Seize your villainry, villains. I'm here to stop you.
it's as if it took him a few moments to think of the perfect thing to say.
Well, well, well. Look what the wolf clawed in.
Wow, this is getting intense. I'm hooked.
I don't know which. One of those jokes was funnier.
Saying the same thing again?
I forgot my line. Oh.
Line!
Really?
Line!
It's show night, man. Come on.
Line!
You're reading the script.
I can't read.
How did you memorize your lines then? How have you been saying your lines all night?
I've had someone whispering them to me from across the room.
Your line is, now, shoemaker, it is time for you to go. Leave the work for a real pro.
Now, shoemaker, it's time for you to go. Leave the work for a meal pro.
Why do I bother?
Come on, Red. We should go. Like you said, this could get ugly.
Not as ugly as that witch over there.
I'll get you, my pretty, and I'll bake you a stew, too.
That's such a weird threat.
Is not.
Is too.
Is not.
Is too.
Red, let's go.
It wasn't a threat. I was asking if anyone wanted to come over to my candy cane house for some stew.
Need a hand with a
Look, this can end in one of two ways, Prince. You can beat us all up, and there can continue to be an epic battle.
Pretty sure the audience would want that. It sounds cooler.
Or you can listen to what I have to say.
Why would I listen to you, villain?
Because we're not actually your enemies. You see, if it weren't for children, you'd have time to gaze upon yourself in all of your glory. and you wouldn't have to worry about saving them from burning trees all the time. Plus, you could force them to do your property taxes on your castle.
Does it get stuck in trees? I thought.
If they can fly, then yes. I can't tell you how many times Peter Pan
All you have to do to help us is renounce your superheroism. Join us.
You know, my mind's telling me no, but it's also telling me yes.
Mhm. All you have to do is defeat the shoemaker.
Huh? I didn't hear you, lad. Did you say you're going to eat me? I don't think that's a good idea. I'm
Well-
stringy.
I am a wolf. That's what we do. Whatever.
I'm not sure this is the superhero thing to do.
Right? Wrong. They're really just social constructs.
Perhaps you're right. I mean, that would leave me more me time, and I do need more of that. I don't even have enough time as it is. I constantly have to save people, and I don't want to do that. I want to see me. And besides, they do give me praise, and I love getting praise. They'll also always remember my name, Prince.
Wait, your actual name is Prince?
I had it legally changed from Gerald. Yes.
But as a supervillain, you're never forgotten. You'll go down in history, and everyone will have Prince right at the tip of their tongues.
You know, Wolf, you're right. I shall now be the hero formerly known as Prince. Time to begin my life of crime. As my first act, prepare, hero, for 'tis I, the Prince. I shall best thee, shoemaker.
Good work tonight, everyone. It's great to see how two people with different beliefs can come together and make the world a better place.
The next day, Sam woke up late. Red's granny had driven them home that night, and she proceeded to stay up worrying if her papa was okay. After a bit of worrying, she decided that she and Papa would go to the park and play. So she goes down to breakfast. Normally, Papa is up by now and reading the morning paper, but he wasn't there. Instead, the room was totally empty. Sam called around for her Papa. Of course, with his poor hearing anyway, he probably didn't hear, right?
I wonder what happened to my grandpa last night.
And as quickly as the thought came into her head, another one also sprang into her head.
I wonder what it's like to live as a superhero.
That's not what she was thinking.
Oh, it's not? Well, what if he wants to get us donuts?
There we go. Suddenly, Sam hears a knock at the door. She slowly walks to the door and opens it.
Hello there.
Sam, having been used to living in a fairy tale city, often opened the door to animals who could speak to her. It didn't connect in her mind that this could very well be the wolf from last night.
Who are you?
I'm the big bad wolf. Whoa. Wolfie.
Mr. Big Bad Wolfie?
No, Wolfie with a Y, not an I-E. I mean, you don't know, you can't see the script, but it's a funny joke, right?
No, it's not.
Whatever.
The audience waits in anticipation for humor to pursue.
You know what?
What?
You're kind of ugly, even for a wolf.
Thanks, kid. Man, you're a real charmer, aren't you?
Mr. Wolfie, you have some weird things about you for a wolf.
What are you going on about now, kid?
Well, first off, it's the way you're dressed.
How's that?
You're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
What? Sheep have stylish clothing.
Take off your glasses.
Sure, kid.
What big eyes you have.
Hey, they're not that big.
What big ears you have.
Hey, my ears, they're not that big.
What a deep, dark mouth you have.
Dude, stop with the insults. Grandpa hired me to babysit you today, not to be insulted by some little brat.
Grandpa hired you to babysit me today? Okay. Where's Papa? Did you give me donuts? Can we go to the park?
Yes, no idea, no, and yes.
Okay, well, I don't want to go alone. It might be kind of boring.
Well, say, are you friends with the neighbors next door? Maybe they want to go with us.
The wolf had been scoping out a little cottage since before the prince had arrested him. As stated previously in the story, he had stayed home and learned how to cook. He decided that Granny and Red would make for an excellent meal. All he had to do was get close to them, and that's why he's babysitting right next door.
I'm so excited. I'm going to go tell Red.
Hey, narrator. Dude, did you really just explain my whole evil plot to the audience before I got to? The monologuing, it's my specialty.
Hey, I'm just doing my job.
Well, let me explain my super duper super evil secret villain monologue next time, okay?
What's in it for me?
I'll give you the money that I'm getting paid for this role.
You're getting paid?
You're not?
Deal. Give me your money and I'll make whatever you want happen. The wolf, who knew nothing about how to disguise himself, walked with Sam to the cottage next door. They invited Granny and Red to go to the park with them. While walking down the street, they run into a large group of kids. Among them are Peter Pan, Wendy Darling, and their babysitters that look awfully similar to Hook and the Witch. While passing a local dumpster, the party hears a strange noise.
Wolf! Oh, no, young man. I am not a wolf. I'm just a dear old lady. You call me that again, and I will hit you with my purse. Oh.
Wolf!
Who are you calling a wolf, you big, fat, ugly, hairy boy? If anyone here is a wolf, it's you. You hound. You live in a dumpster.
Wolf!
Guys, I'm not another wolf.
That's a convincing argument. Wolf! But guys, this one really is a wolf!
Yeah, right, and I didn't really take Captain Hook's hand.
But you did chop off his hand.
Oh, right. You seem real sensitive about somebody else losing their hand.
Hey, was that guy with the hook hand at the meeting last night?
I remember. It was dark.
Peter, where's the playground?
Second turn on the right and straight on till the stoplight.
All right, everyone hold hands. No!
Oh, it's okay, Babysitter Hook. Peter, say you're sorry for being insensitive about people's hands and violently decapitating them when they're not looking.
Nuh-uh!
Peter.
I'm sorry, Babysitter Hook, for being insensitive and teasing you about blah, 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 blah.
Peter!
Do you really mean it? Are you serious? Do you want to shake on it? Oh, not again! Ah!
Peter, That was very rude of you.
What are you, my mother?
The children have now arrived at the playground. None of them had realized that each of their new babysitters are actually villains in disguise. They rush off to the slides and swings. The boy who cried wolf, who is now a fully grown man after so many years of crying wolf, has also joined the children because he has noticed something odd about the babysitters.
You want to go to the playground, Sam?
Sure.
Granny, there's a sweet store on the way there. You could give us some money so we don't starve to death.
Yeah, please, Mr. Wolfie.
Huh? Why would I spend money on you, kid? I'm just a kidnapper.
What?
Babysitter.
Of course, dear. Granny loves you. Now, here's $5. Don't spend it all in one place.
$5? I thought you said you loved me.
Oh, well, of course, dear. Here's $2. Don't spend it all in one place.
That's even less.
Greedy children don't get everything they want in life.
Maybe that's a life lesson I could learn. Nah. Red mumbles, annoyed, and walks to the store. She turns around to face Sam. Sam turns to Mr. Wolfie.
You coming?
Please, Mr. Wolfie.
Fine. Here.
The wolf hands Sam a penny.
A penny.
Run along, kid.
But
Beat it.
The wolf convinces Granny to take their time. And when she's not looking, the wolf devours her, fulfilling the first part to his plan. Now, on to the last part, Little Red Riding Hood. But the wolf didn't notice one key clue that would later come to haunt him. The boy who cried wolf was there, hiding behind a garbage can. He saw the whole thing and rushed off to the playground to tell anyone who would listen that he was right. But since he kept accusing people of being a wolf, they were destined not to believe this tall tale he came up with. Except for... At the playground, the children played. The slide became a fierce dragon's head. Mr. Fluffybottom, the stuffed animal, became a princess in need of saving. And the jungle gym became a magnificent castle, home to a flying boy. The adults, Captain Hook, Witch, and Wolf, found their way to a cozy park bench where they graciously fell asleep. Peter Pan climbs to the top of the jungle gym castle and looks down on Wendy Darling.
Peter, be careful.
I'm going to do it.
Peter Pan cock-a-doodle-doos and braces himself on the playground, preparing to jump off. He leaps, preparing to fly before he inexplicably falls to the ground.
I can fly.
I can fly.
I can't fly.
Can't fly.
Oh,
Peter, are you okay? I told you so, Peter.
you know, now that I've had time to think about it, there's something off about my babysitter.
You're an airhead.
I'm serious, Red.
Well, aren't you a smarty?
Red, come on. Stop messing around. Did something seem off to you about him?
I'm not sure what you meant-o.
Peter, don't do something stupid and childish like that again. Oh, no offense.
but I really can fly. I just forgot how to.
Come on, Red. Maybe Peter and the boys noticed something weird about my babysitter.
You know, that was really nice of Wendy to go and help Peter up, even after all the stupid boy stuff he's done. She really is a lifesaver.
Ugh, Red, I swear, your puns about candy are awful. Sweetheart.
Their puns came in good and plenty that day.
Hey, Wendy, did something seem off to you about my babysitter today?
The only thing that's off was Captain Hook's hand.
Peter, That's offensive! You shouldn't be proud of cutting off other people's hands!
I don't think we're gonna get through to them.
You're right. Maybe one of the babysitters thought that Mr. Wolfie seemed weird.
Secret agent man, secret agent.
Oh, wait, how about that guy over there?
Really? Of all the people you could talk to, like talking bears or pirates, and you choose a scruffy-looking secret agent singing Secret Agent Man?
I guess you're right. He wouldn't know anything. Besides, he's probably looking for a golden-figured man.
Little did they know that this woman would be essential to the plot.
Essential? How so?
Did you just break the fourth wall? You can't do that. Besides, I have the power. If I want to add a character, then I can. Anyways, Sam and Red began to go through the crowd, talking to each babysitter, trying to find information, when suddenly... Are you looking right at me?
Russian spy!
Excuse me?
I don't know why I'm here or how I got here. I was in my house, quarantined, and then poof! And now I'm in the middle of a play, and I'm an essential character. This can only be the work of Russian spies.
I was getting coffee to celebrate how well the play was going, and I come back to this? It's been a crazy enough day already. We can't have you running into the plot and bringing up something crazy about Russian spies. There are no Russian spies in my story.
Russian spies, I swear! I've been hunting this spy down for years. I left my kid to hunt her. And now I finally found her. She's disguised as a narrator.
I think you have the wrong narrator. I'm not a Russian spy.
We'll see about that.
You see why we don't just add in people off the street? That's why.
Right. Continuing on, eventually, after talking to everyone, Red and Sam returned to the playground, defeated. But as they sat down...
Wolf! Wolf! Wolf!
What?
The boy who cried wolf explained what happened to Little Red's granny.
And then the wolf waited for her to turn around, and then he ate her!
My granny has been eaten?
I'm so sorry, Red.
I tried to tell everyone, but nobody would listen.
To be fair, you were running around, shouting at people, calling them wolves.
Yeah, but out of the millions of people I've called a wolf, I finally found one.
Wait, millions of people?
So now what do we do?
I think we're going to have to stop him.
But we're just kids.
Yes, but think of it. We saw the prince last night, and he obviously couldn't stop the wolf. And if he's here today, and not in prison.
We're doomed! Our best superhero is gone!
And we also saw the shoemaker last night, too. That must mean that... Oh no, he's gone too. Red, I don't know what to do. This boy is right. We're doomed. I thought good was always supposed to triumph over evil. Why isn't it happening?
We're doomed!
Guys.
Doomed!
Guys.
We have no
one to save us.
Guys, get a hold of yourselves. Granny taught me that life isn't easy. If you want something done, you've got to take action. You can't sit around on the sidelines yourself and complain. You have to take steps to success. You can't rely on others to always save you. One day you'll have to stand up for yourself. Who knows if we succeed, our progress here today may help more than just us. It'll help everyone, everywhere.
You're right, Red. I've always been bullied. I've always been alone. Too long I haven't had friends. Too long I've been that kid in the back of the classroom that no one talks to. And if our actions today don't change that, I'm okay with that. Because that's who I am. I know I've got friends in you, Red, and in you, random boy running around calling people wolves.
What?
We've both said something inspiring. Now it's your turn.
Oh, well, Wolf!
Really, right now, we're trying to inspire each other, and here you are being a stupid boy. Boys go to Jupiter too.
No, really! Wolf!
Looks like you figured it out. This brilliant Clark Kent disguise worked pretty well. Surprisingly.
The wolf had overheard everything and knew that the kids knew, but the kids didn't lose hope. They knew that they could call on their friends for help in times of need. No one is ever alone. What comes next will be conveyed for centuries. The kids stand up, calling for their friends. The wolf is surrounded, but the wolf planned for this. He called for the fairy tale villains, who in their secret identities are babysitters by day, but are actually supervillains by night.
I know I said earlier that I was going to just eat you, but while I'm at it and I have every single supervillain in Tall Tale City, we might as well just ruin your lives too.
You'll never win, Wolf. You may have defeated the shoemaker and the prince, but you'll never, ever defeat the innocence of youth.
But the wolf had one more trick up his sleeve.
Well, I was able to convince a very handsome and muscular man that children are the root of all evil.
It's true. You know how tired I am of trying to save you from burning buildings and trees all the time?
Kids get stuck in trees? I thought that was cats.
You're all the same to me. Tiny, tiny little animals, always in need of saving. You know, sometimes I just want some me time. Some time to gaze and reflect at my own beauty. Because I'm simply beautiful.
You were my hero.
And you're a kid I've never met.
You met me when we went to stop the wolf in the school.
Oh, was that you? You're quite a bit uglier in the light.
I am not.
Considering no one will ever be as handsome as me, you do too.
I do not.
The kids begin to discover their own strengths. Red stomps her feet and the earth shakes beneath her strength. The lights flash and all of a sudden, Peter Pan is flying.
I knew it! I really can fly!
Wow! He can fly.
And so the battle commences. So the battle ends with the heroes triumphant. I couldn't be more proud of you all. Congratulations. But of course, I'm going to have to call it a day for just a split second because that is not what was supposed to happen at all. You see, I accepted this bribe from the big bad wolf and he was supposed to win, so.
Secret Agent Man!
What?
You're really a Russian spy!
How did you know?
You're coming with me! Anything you say will be held against you in a court of law. If you do not have an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
That's not good. That was my last trick.
Wolf, your days of being evil are up. What the? Are you crying? Why are you crying?
All I wanted was to have a childhood. Was that too much to ask for? I just wanted to be able to tell stories about when I was a pup. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to be loved.
But you just tried to eat people and beat up a bunch of kids.
I can't help it.
Adults are only kids grown up anyways.
Or in this case, a kid who never got to grow up.
Little girl, you don't want to do this. I'm your hero.
You were my hero, but I've learned I don't need you. I can't rely on you to always save the day. I need to stand up for myself. And children everywhere, you were supposed to be the good guy. How could you have turned evil?
Because that entire monologue was so boring. No wonder we don't like kids.
And so the wolf and the prince went back to prison, along with all of the other fairy tale villains. As far as the shoemaker and Granny, Sam and Red found them locked up. It turns out that Granny and her fiery attitude gave the wolf indigestion. Finally, a few weeks later, at the playground,
I'm very proud of you, Sam. Thank you for saving me. Now, run along and have fun with your friends.
Wolf! Just kidding. I can tell the difference now between wolves and men.
With Captain Hook gone, who's going to be your new babysitter?
We don't need any dumb babysitter.
I can be your babysitter.
Maybe we do need a dumb babysitter?
and so everything is coming up to a happy ending.
Oh, the show's over? I just went to go get some more coffee and it's over now? Huh. I overestimated my time I had left in the show. So how does it end again?
I'm so happy I got my granny back. I don't know what I would have done without her.
And I'm lucky I got my grandpa back. But you know what else?
What?
I'm glad we're friends.
Me too.
And I know we have to stand up for ourselves, but I also learned we should stand up for others. Who knows? Maybe we'll work together in the future. But I still have one more question.
What's that?
Whatever happened to my mother? Grandpa only ever told me she traveled a lot. I don't know anything else about her.
Maybe someday you'll find out.
I hope I do.
Oh, that's my cue. Excuse me, Sam?
Oh, I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
I found you. I finally found you.
Who are you?
Sam, I'm your mother.
But
I'm so sorry I've been gone for so long. I was tracking down Russian spies.
I can't believe you're back. You've been gone so long. Are you really my mother?
I am, Sam. And with the Russian threat gone, I can finally be here for you.
It's all I've ever wanted.
I love you, Sam.
I love you too, Mom. And so good triumphs over evil, always. The narrator was taken to jail for stealing secrets. The wolf, Captain Hook, and the other fairy tale supervillains have been locked up for a long, long time. The prince was seen for his lack of goodness in his heart and declared an evil villain. Peter Pan and the Lost Boys got a new babysitter, a brilliant yet overwhelming at times young girl named Wendy. The other fairy tale creatures all returned home to their loving families. Mother and the shoemaker reunited with me and lived long, happy lives. The shoemaker retired from crime fighting and decided to help teach Red and me his crime fighting techniques. Unfortunately, he still randomly falls asleep, so instead, it was really up to Mother to teach us. Red and I grew to become the crime fighting duo known as the Red Riders. We went down in history as the defenders of Telltale City, and sometimes they called on friends like the Flying Green Wonder and the Boy Who Can Screech Loudly. But me, in particular, well, like everyone else, we all lived
Happily
Ever
after.
after.
Bravo! Bravo! Stunning performance. I didn't think it would go this well, frankly.
I'll be back